Hello everybody, welcome to another watercolor tutorial. We are going to be painting an icy, like an ice rink scene. The inspiration behind this photo was an image that was on the Weather Network. It was an ad. So I'm like, ooh, this actually looks pretty nice. So let's start with the background. It's going to be like a setting sun background. I apologize if you hear the sounds of dishes and water running. I film in my bathroom because that's where the best lighting is, and of course that's where all the pipes are. Like the pipes for the water are directly underneath where I'm sitting currently, so. And my husband's doing the dishes, banging them like crazy. So anyways, I started with a baby blue, and then I realized that that would be too bright for the vibe that I'm going for. So I switched to like a more muted blue. And then I'm switching to, like I'm blending that into a nude color. And then the nude color will fade into yellow. Ooh, that is bright. I love it. And sort of like an orangey undertone to this yellow, but I don't want it to be too prominent. So I'm just rinsing my brush, dabbing it on paper towel and trying to fade that out a little bit. And then we're mirroring it. So take the yellow on the other side, and then I'm actually going to try and follow the same order. So I'm going to do the blue. Although it's way less blue, it's more of like a pinky color on the bottom. Sorry, I'm just looking at the picture as a reference, and there isn't too much blue on the bottom. It's mostly this nude color. Sort of like that. That yellow is really intense. This is why I don't like applying tape to the borders. It just sticks to the bottom of my page, and I find that very annoying because then I can't adjust my paper the way that I want to adjust it. I just added more nude, but as I do that, I realize I don't like that very much. Whatever. We're just gonna add a little bit of blue on the bottom here, because this bottom part is going to be ice. Okay, the other thing is there seems to be quite the shadow happening on this side because there's going to be a horizon coming across like this, and there's a bunch of bushes on this side, so I do need to make this darker. I'm going to take some black and mix it with the blue that we used for up top here, and I'm going to drop that shadow in so it kind of follows. And we have to do it while the background is still wet for the shadow to look nice and natural. And it looks like there's just a general shadow underneath the horizon anyways, from, I'm guessing, all the trees. So I'm dropping that in there as well, and allowing that to try and spread out naturally. Making that shadow a little darker. And the thing is this shadow, like on the ice are these skate marks, but gosh, I have no idea how to paint those. So this is going to really be a learning experience where I'm inevitably going to get frustrated. So what I'm doing is I took that original blue, mixed it with like the tiniest hint of black, sort of a lighter version of this shadowed part. And I'm trying to create these thin skate marks that go in a circle, kind of like, you know, when you drop a rock in the water and the water ripples. That's sort of the illusion that I'm trying to create here. And I think I've kind of achieved that, but I have a feeling that as soon as this painting dries and the background is no longer wet, you're not going to be able to see these. But I'm happy with that, how it is now at least. So I am going to leave that the way that it is. We're going to let this dry and then we'll see what this looks like when it's dry. Okay, so these skate marks actually don't look half bad. They dried to be more opaque than I thought that they would be. I just am going to go over them with a super, well, that's a little bit too much. Whoops. Water that down a bit. I'm using size 1 here, just to go over these ripples, skate, like whatever you want it to be. That looks good to me. So what I'm gonna do now, the thing is, so again, this is an ad on a weather website, and there's a bunch of ad content blocking my image, so I do not have a clear image, so I do have to improvise and make some stuff up. This is ridiculous. Okay, so what we're gonna do, I'm gonna create the horizon line. We wanna create that first because any details that we paint over top are going to be overlapping the horizon. Now, I realize I made a little bit of a mistake. We should have put a little piece of round tape there before we painted our background for the sun, because like the reason why this color looks the way it is because there's a sun. And actually, this is so funny. I wish I could show you guys this, but my camera has a little sun. It's like where I focused it on this image, exactly where I would want an actual sun to be. So that is so funny. I wish I could show you that somehow, but obviously I can't. So what I'm gonna do now, because I'm gonna be painting a very dark, what do you call it? Horizon line there. It's gonna be very black. So what I'm gonna do is cut out a circle and just tape it on there, and then we'll go over it with white acrylic paint later. Okay, so I don't know if you can see this tiny little circle that I cut out, but I'm gonna plop it like right there, right kind of on top of where I think my horizon is gonna be. That is really hard to see, but I'm gonna have to figure out a way here. So, I am just taking a size 12 here, but like whatever size you're comfortable with will work. And we're gonna draw in our horizon line. Now mine has actually mountains even behind that, but gosh, I could not be bothered to paint mountains, wait for those to dry, or should I? Ooh, that's so tempting. Okay, yeah, we're gonna do it. Sorry, I keep changing my mind. Okay, so these mountains are like a nice, very dark, faded blue. So I'm mixing blue with that black with the original blue that we had here. And we are going to paint mountains first. So I'm gonna try to keep my horizon line as straight as I can as I move across the page, just on top of that shadow that we painted when our painting was still wet. So try to keep that nice and straight. And then you can, you know, add like more mountainous shapes, I guess. Like so. I mean, this part is actually quite a bit hillier than that, but I think that's because there's shrubs there rather than a mountain, but whatever. We're gonna paint a mountain in case I get lazy and I don't want to paint shrubs. So there we go. Anyways, you can make your mountains in the background whatever shape that you'd like. I'm okay with this. And we are going to let those dry before we paint our actual horizon. Okay, so our mountains are dry. And now we're going over the same line that we painted our mountains with. And this is going to be the horizon. So I'm just painting that line in first because then it's a lot easier to paint in all the little shrubby details. So you can be very detailed if you want and go ahead and paint like very detailed tree shapes, but because that's not going to be the focus, we're going to be painting like a skater in the background. I am just very, very roughly painting some sort of foliage shapes just to create the illusion that there's something growing. So, like, not being very precise. I should actually switch to a larger brush here to make it easier for myself. Now, as I get closer to my sun, which is right here, I want to make the horizon shrubbery lighter because it's supposed, like the sun is shining right there, so it's supposed to lighten them up or brighten them up a little bit. So what I'm going to do is take another paintbrush. And basically, I don't have any pigment on it, just water, and I've extended it. And obviously this is too light, so I am gonna go over it, but I do want a gradual transition from each side. So now I've taken a brush that does have pigment and I'm just super gradually adding some black in there, and then I'm gonna go in a moment with my other paintbrush. Oh no, you know what? I think my sun was not completely like that tape, it wasn't completely flush with the paper, so it went underneath. Darn it. Whatever, we're gonna paint over it anyway. Now you can increase the brightness of that section under the sun by just adding some yellow to it. Like so. Ta-da! Actually, you can't really see that from when I'm looking at the camera. It's a little too far away for you to see, but the reason why I have the painting so far away from the camera is because someone wanted the palette. Actually, a few of you wanted the palette to be in the painting tutorial, so I'm trying my best. Oh my gosh. I just realized I made a really stupid error. the sun is not going to be over top of the horizon. Like the mountains are blocking the sun. So, dear Lord, I'm gonna peel this off. Luckily it kind of went underneath anyway, but it ruins the contrast between these two guys. Sometimes I don't think. That doesn't look too bad. It'll just look like the sun is brightening this area. I'm gonna leave it like that instead of playing with it more. We can kind of adjust that a little bit later. The thing that I do want to do is, you see how we painted that shadow here earlier? Now that we painted a very dark shrubbery section, it's quite a difference with the original shadow that we painted. I really hope I don't regret this, but I am going to darken this area a tiny bit, and I'm going to try my best to fade it in as naturally as I can with the background. Okay, that's all right. Didn't turn out half bad. So now we're going to add kind of the thing that's going to actually make this look like an ice rink, or a frozen lake rather, and that's going to be our hockey skater or figure skater. You can put in whatever you want, and I'm just trying to figure out how I am going to make this look like a skater, because I'm not very good at people. So I have just a regular pencil here, and I'm definitely going to pencil it in first. So, and the other thing is that the ad is covering half of this skater, so I do have to, okay, the other thing I really do suggest doing this is just tracing like a silhouette of a skater onto a piece of paper, cutting that piece of paper out, and then tracing it onto your piece of paper. Okay, so I did not trust myself with this skater. I just had a picture, like a silhouette, and I just put my painting over top of that silhouette and tried to like trace the outline of it. It kind of looks like a hockey skater, but we'll see how this turns out. It might be easier to just draw like a few people that are skating straight rather than, you know, the super athletic position, but we're gonna try. We're gonna give this a go. So I'm taking black with very little water because I want this figure or hockey skater to stand out quite a bit. I'm gonna start with the hockey stick. Good so far. And he's sort of holding it like this. Like it is a silhouette, so we don't have to be that precise with our shape. Sometimes it helps to leave some white space, or is it called negative space? I don't know. Like, leave some parts not black is what I'm trying to say. And sometimes that works to your advantage. Sometimes it looks really good for some reason. You can always fill it in if it doesn't. So like this tiny little, I'm gonna zoom in actually a little bit so you see what I mean. I left like these barely visible spaces that I haven't filled in, actually add to it, in my opinion. This guy's got like a stick leg on this side. We do have to fix that. Make it a little bit thicker. Okay, that does not look bad. That certainly doesn't look horrible. I'm actually surprised at that. So what I want to do is add some shadows. Like this is the part that's, gosh, luckily like my painting cuts off here, because in the painting, like this part is, sorry, not in the painting, but the picture with the ad on the weather website, this is like covered by your monthly January outlook or whatever. So you can't really see what's going on, but I've watered down the black and I'm gonna leave a tiny space between the skater and the shadow. And yeah, I can't really see. I have no idea what this is supposed to fade into. I'm not really good at reverse. We'll just kind of go like this. Hope for the best. It's a little bit too dark for my liking, so what I'm doing is dipping my paintbrush in water, then on a paper towel, and trying to pick some of this up. Make it a little bit lighter and more abstract. When we zoom out, it doesn't look too bad, but I'm not exactly enthusiastic about the shadow. The shadow could have been a lot better in my opinion. It is supposed to be darker, closer to the object that is being reflected. So I am adding some darkness back in the section closest to the feet. Like so. Okay, and the other thing I want to do is add like a hockey puck and other features on the ice, maybe a bird, something in the sky. So I'm gonna take my black again and there's our puck. I have this random wet dot there that I'm gonna pick up. Okay, and then I'm gonna add just like some black specks to make it, I don't know why I'm adding black specks. I think it'll look nice, I guess. What else can we do to make this look more like ice or more realistic? Okay, what I'm gonna do while I'm thinking about what else to add is I'm taking white acrylic paint. Okay, you can use white gouache or whiteout even. But what I'm gonna do, I'm trying to be careful to leave this and just have the sun peeking out behind the mountains rather than painting over top. So that whole thing I did with the tape earlier really was meaningless. I should have done that before I even painted the background. But that works. Like, sure, it's not totally white, but it looks better than it did without that, I think. So I would say that's successful, adding that little sun there. We could also add birds or something, but I feel like birds, there aren't that many flying over ice in the winter. I'm just trying to see like what else I can add to this to make it a little more diversified or whatever. But you know what? Sometimes we can just go with a simple painting, right? Why not? So I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, oh, you know what? I keep forgetting to peel that off. That's the best part. There we go. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Please subscribe to my channel, hit like on this video, leave a comment below telling me what you think about this, what you would have done differently, and I'll see you in the next one.